Hey, my fallen ones, and welcome to another Shen Pe Uts Taa-Neter production. I am your hostess and storyteller, Shen Pe. Well, I'm testing out these new headphones. I got a new microphone today, so it looks like it's working. I can see the squiggly lines and everything, the voice indicator. Okay, well, before I go on my esoteric rant, I want to just remind you that I have information for any young person between the ages of 18 to 24 for free web design classes. And the classes are online for a total of 11 weeks. And upon completion, you will get your JavaScript certification. So please email me at shenpei9@gmail.com for the information for that, and I'll be more than happy to give it to you. Also, you just have to live within 60 miles of New York City. So you just have to live within 60 miles of New York City and be between the ages of 18 and 24. And the classes are totally free and they start next week. So go ahead and email me if you haven't already for the information, and I'll be glad to email you the information. Also, I have applications for, this one is for mothers. It doesn't specify if you need to be a certain age or live in a certain area, but it's free computer classes, training in special digitalizing skills, and it's going to be on Zoom. And the classes are, I believe, on Saturdays from 10 in the morning to 12 noon, and it's for 3 months. I think Saturdays or Thursdays. Thursdays is 3 to 5, and if you go on Saturdays, it'll be 10 to 12 noon. And this is for mothers. It doesn't give an age range, but I'm assuming if you're a mother, no matter how old you are, I'm a mother, even though, my children are grown, I'm still a mother. So I would qualify for this. It's free. And the classes are on Zoom. And again, I have an application. I can email that to you because you have to email certain information to the school for the free classes. Okay, and just email me and shenpei9@gmail.com and let me know if you're emailing me for the JavaScript classes or for the classes for mothers to take computer training. Also, I'm selling subscriptions for remote jobs at home. I have a lot that's for web development, coding, full stack coding, and things like that. And then I have some also for like customer service online. You just need a good Wi-Fi, at least 50 downloadable speed, 50 speeds downloadable Mbps, and 8 gigabytes of RAM and memory. Some require more, but some companies will actually give you the equipment that you may need. Not all of them, but some. But all of them prefer that you have at least a minimum of 50 Mbps downloading speeds. Okay, so I'm selling those subscriptions for $5 a week, and they change weekly. So you can also email me at shenpei9@gmail.com for that if you're interested. I'm not forcing anyone to do anything they don't want to do. Okay, so now that I got that out the way, before I get started on my esoteric rant, I would like to make the following disclaimer. You have the right to remain vacuous. Everything you do not know can and will be used against you, most likely for profit. My videos are not for the emotionally challenged, nor are they for the intellectually impoverished. My videos are for entertainment purposes only, and I am a storyteller. Okay, so there were several things that I wanted to rant about. Things that had happened. Of course, the every 5.5 hours, a American descendant of slavery woman is being homicided. And there was one that just happened. Like, it was just, it was just crazy. Dude ran her over, and the person was filming it was calling her all kinds of bitches and hoes while she was laying down on the ground dying and being beaten to death, like finished off, right? And Miss Archduchess, there was someone on her panel, a young lady, I think her handle was RJ, right? And she was very, like, she was on point. That young woman was on point. She was on point in terms of the spiritual aspect, because everything has a spiritual side to it. It's all spiritual. That's why a lot of these women are like the sacrifice, right? I know you probably don't like to hear it, but it's the truth, right? It is truth, and it is spiritual, right? So, like, everybody is not going to make it, and most of them people are going to be sacrificed, okay? Most of them. Most of everybody who is not going to make it, most of those people are going to be sacrificed, right? But if you would listen to the last video that Miss Archduchess did, and they were talking about the girl, the young woman being homicided by the Nigerian dude after he done ran her over, and it was RJ on the panel. Everything she said was on point. Everything. She was speaking in the spiritual aspect. Everything she said is on point. So please go back and listen to that video and listen to what Miss RJ was saying, because I couldn't have said it better myself. She was on point about it. But yeah, not everybody's going to make it, and most of the people who are not going to make it are going to be the sacrifice. So that's exactly what you're seeing, and it's a whole lot of them, because, like, they're being homicided every 5.5 hours, right? And what I just wanted to just say that, like, really quick. And then I wanted to also say really quick about because I'm going to get back to the people being sacrificed, the women being sacrificed, right? But I wanted to say real quick, because I noticed that thing that was going on in Russia and Ukraine, and the news media coverage, it's just, that isn't a third world country. It's Europe, for God's sake, right? So I'm just going to speak on it, because you have third world people up in there talking about, they're being discriminated against, and talking about is racism because they won't let them leave. And it's just so sad. It's like Marcus Garvey said, a beggar race will never be respected. So don't expect to be respected anytime too soon. A beggar, and he was right about that. Marcus Garvey said that. I'm quoting Marcus Garvey. A beggar race will never be respected, right? So here you have these Africans over there crying about how, they're being, first of all, they go to a country on their own free will. They wasn't sold over there. They wasn't trafficked human trafficking over there. You know what I'm saying? None of that. They went there on their own damn free will, and then want to talk about something. You can't pull a race card. You cannot even do that. You can't do that. What you can do is go back to your country and clean it up. That's what you can do. And you know something, the crazy thing is that their own government just left them there. Like, screw y'all. Y'all on your own. Handle it yourself. Just go ahead and beg, because that's what the whole world expects you to do anyway. Is just beg, right? And a beggar race will never be respected. But I did notice through all of that, while the Africans are calling them racist, I noticed that India, the country India, have an operation called Operation Ganga, where they're going in there and they're making sure all of their people get back to their country. Okay, they were not even playing. As a matter of fact, they had allied with several other countries like Romania, some other European country. Boy, I tell you, and they are not playing. They like, yo, we going to get our folk, okay? And we going to make sure all our folk is back, right? And in the meantime, you have these Africans over here crying racism. Boy, I tell you, a beggar race will never be respected. No one respects you. No one respects you. No one respects Africans. No one respects Africans. But I'm not here to talk about Africans and other black people other black people around the world that don't believe in the one drop rule in America until they come over here and check the black box, to get all the benefits like my grandmama and them did, okay? Because they got all the benefits, okay? And they'll let you know in a minute that they were not American. They were proud from the Latin American country that they came from legitimately and got their citizenship here, okay? But I didn't really want to talk about that. I wanted to talk about y'all remember that lady who was a banker who got her face bashed in by the dude who was also a banker, but he was making less than her. She got her face bashed in. That was her boyfriend, and she was on, I think she was like not only a banker, but she was like in the black woman excellence arena, and she was supposed to be doing all of this black girl magic and all of this stuff, but she got homicided, right? And she was educated, and I'm guessing she made a 6-figure salary, right? And then, you had the other young lady who was an attorney in Atlanta, and she got homicided by some G. Floyd. I think he shot her to death, and the neighbor had caught all of that on tape. I think the neighbor had called police for her, but it was too late because I think dude homicided her and then homicided himself. And then there was the other lady who was married to a G. Floyd, had these kids by him, and went to go and get an order of protection. And her order of protection was denied by the judge for, I don't know what reason it was denied. But she was a real estate lady, and when they showed the house that she had just recently bought, didn't get a chance to live in, it was a really nice house. It really was. So I'm guessing that, she was well-to-do as well, And I wanted to bring them up because they've all been homicided, and they've all been homicided by G. Floyd. And it's not even that they've been homicided by G. Floyd that I'm really wanting to get into. I'm really wanting to get into all of their education and all of their money, and they still made poor choices that had them ended up homicided. And I blame the poor choices on number one, them not standing in their God power, and number two, society, right? Saying that, as a woman, that you have to have a man to be complete, which it's not true. It's just not true. And then not just, as a woman, but I just want to say, and this is the time that I'm going to say black, right? Because the black woman, right? Or we all came from the same place, but the black woman or the African woman is the mother of humanity, right? She is the mother of humanity. And it's what scientists call the Eve gene. When the scientists the scientists identified the Eve gene as the gene that carries all of the so-called races on the planet, right? And, I told y'all before that words are spells and the grammar is the grimoire. And race is a made-up word. That's a made-up word, okay? That word was made up to cast spells on people, right? There is really no such thing as race, okay? Everyone comes from the same mother, right? And that mother is the black woman. She is the mother of all humanity. Anyone who considers themselves to be a human, she is the mother of them. Because, you do have people, or you have humanoids walking around here. They're humanoid, but they're not really human per se. But that's another story. I'm not even going to get into that, But the black woman, she is the mother of all humanity. Okay? She is the mother. And I'm stressing this to stress that all of these rules and shit, that's here now that everybody is going by, all of these rules were made after her fall, okay? After the fall of the mother of humanity, all of these rules were made because the mother of humanity didn't really, she wasn't, there was, like I said, there is no, the patriarchy is a myth, right? There was never a patriarchy. It was always the matriarch, right? And then you had the sisterhood of Satan, who are counterfeit spirits, right? I don't like to use the word mammy. I noticed a lot of these women use the word mammy, but they're just really cursing themselves doing that because they're corrupting, they're corrupting that word, because a mammy, the mammy is what kept the slaves alive and what kept the slaves going, on top of giving important information that only she was privy to because she was in the big house, and she knew what was going on. She could warn people. She could tell people about revolts, everything. And then when people got whipped to near death, she was there to heal them, to make them better again. When the women and the men were getting raped by the slave masters, she was there for them to, keep them, like, after you've been violated, boy, I tell you, it's not a good thing to be violated, right? She was there to keep that person psychologically strong and mentally strong, right? So the mammy she played a very important role. She played a very important role to the slaves. So, I mean, the use of that word and the way let me tell you something. Like I said, a lot of people are not going to make it, and most of those people who are not going to make it are the sacrifice, okay? They are the sacrifice, right? So you got every 5.5 hours, Every 5.5 hours, a black woman is being homicided. Okay, and the women who are, you know, who these other women are referring to as mammies, the other women are referring to these females as mammies. Those females are the sisterhood of Satan. They have counterfeit spirits. They are the descendants of those counterfeit spirit sisterhood of Satan women that overthrew the matriarch, because there was never a patriarch. There never existed a patriarch. It was the matriarch, right? There was the matriarch. It was always the matriarch, right? And it was like that for a long time until the matriarch, was fallen, was overthrown. The fallen ones, right? And you have the sisterhood of Satan and their counterfeit spirits. These are the same type of women that will lead another unsuspecting women into danger, to get murdered and raped, or raped and murdered, in that order. And it's happened. It's happened lots of times before, You have mothers selling their own daughters, I mean, this is something like they don't like want to talk about, but it happens, and it has happened, right? This is the sisterhood of Satan. They're not mammies. They are counterfeit spirits, and they are the ones who were jealous of the matriarch. That's why these women out here asking, "Oh, where's the sisterhood?" There was never a sisterhood, except for the sisterhood of Satan. There was always a matriarch, and everyone respected the matriarch. That was like a natural thing, right? So now you have the sisterhood of Satan, these counterfeit spirits. They conspired with these men, the blackamoors. Remember I told you about the Moors? Y'all know them as the Moors. I say blackamoors because I get that from Langston Hughes. In his writing, in Langston Hughes, or oh goodness, I can't remember his name. He's one of my favorite authors. Langston Hughes is also, but oh goodness, what's his name? James Baldwin. That's his name. He's one of my favorite authors. And you want to know something? He was gay, but check this out. The LGBT will never acknowledge him. The LGBTQRS UV, SVU, I mean, they would never acknowledge him. Go figure. But he's one of my favorite authors, James Baldwin. And I can't remember if it was, because I read a lot, and I can't remember if it was Langston Hughes or James Baldwin that used to identify the Moors as the blackamoors. So I'm guessing that's what they used to be called, like back in the days. And it's like I told you before, the older the book is, the more closer to the truth it will be, right? So that's what, remember I told you the blackamoors, right? They were the reason why the matriarch was fallen, and it was the sisterhood of Satan, the counterfeit spirits, that conspired with them, because it was only the women that were able to get close enough, right, to other women, right, to set her up to be raped and homicided, basically, really. And that's what they did. So these women here, they're the descendants. Any women that you see trying to bring confusion to other women and everything, they're the descendants, and they are the sisterhood of Satan and the counterfeit spirits. They're not mammies, and like, really, y'all should stop saying that, because you're doing nothing but, I mean, you can laugh and think it's funny, but you're doing nothing but bringing like a curse to yourself, like for real, because we call on what you call mammy, we call on her when we need help, like for real. She's an ancestor, and she was always there, But like, you're not really doing yourself any justice by doing that. And I could understand how things can get corrupted. You know, that's why I say I'm not divested, and I'm not black no more. Okay, I want to be white. I'm not black no more. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's not cool, and most of these people are going to be sacrificed anyway. So you know what? It is what it is. But I just wanted to say that when I brought up those women to show how educated they were and how well doing that they were in life, you know, they had it going on basically, and they still made bad choices. And basically because they were told that they were nothing without a woman. But what I'm telling you is that the mother of humanity, those rules were not for her. These rules were not for her. But you're just so much under a spell that while you're telling people, and I could understand, you know, talking about black men, right? Talking about the G Floyds, because basically the G Floyds, no matter what, are your counterparts, right? It's like, it's nothing. I mean, I can't escape that. I mean, no matter how hard I try, I can't escape the fact that they are my counterparts, right? And if it wasn't for women that look like me, they wouldn't even exist. They wouldn't even be here, like, for real, for real. So, like, you brought them into existence, right? So you have every right to lament about them, right? You have every right to do that, right? And you have every right to not only lament about them, but you have every right to come up with a strategy to where you don't have to lament about them anymore. You get what I'm saying? You have every right to do that, because you're the very reason why they exist. You're the very reason why they exist. So if you can speak them into existence, you can speak them out of existence. You understand what I'm saying? And you have every right to do that. No matter what anybody say, you have every right to do that. My only thing is that when you're telling people that they shouldn't, you know, when you're telling these women who brought the G Floyds into existence that they should not have anything to do with the G Floyds anymore, I don't think that you should be telling them that they need to jump into another relationship with somebody. Like, regardless of where you might be at in your life. Like, if you're partnered with somebody, if you're attached to somebody, whether it be a white man or an Asian man or any other man but a G Floyd, then that's good. But that's not for, like, everybody. And like I said, those rules wasn't for the original matriarch. And I consider myself of the original matriarch. You know, you do got some counterfeits running around here, but I'm not one of them, okay? I consider myself the original matriarch. It's not necessary for me to have a man unless I want to procreate, right? That's the only reason why I would feel is necessary that I have to have a man. And then, you know, to procreate, and then for him to be there to provide in terms of, you know, working 2 jobs or doing whatever he got to do, right? And then that leaves me free to do my job, which is to rear the children, right? And to educate them, right? Because, I mean, when you look at it, basically, that's basically what a man does, right? Like, that's basically what a man does. He assists the women, you know, especially during her time of pregnancy. He's there to assist her with that, right? And then when the child comes, he is there to reinforce her laws, pretty much, right? He's there to reinforce her laws, because if he was being a man, those children would barely see him because he'd be out working all the time to provide, okay? They would barely freaking see him, okay? And when they do see him, it will be because they did not listen to their mama, okay? Or she was upset, they didn't do what she told them to do, so she had to go and get the enforcer. That would be the father, okay? He would be the enforcer of the laws. The woman would be the law, and he would be the enforcer, okay? This is the natural order of things anyway. This is the natural order of things, right? So, like I'm saying, is that I don't think you should be telling people to go out and just jump into another relationship, because when you're in an abusive relationship, when someone is abusing you and you have to leave that relationship, you have to heal from that relationship. You don't go and jump into another relationship. For real, something, it's just so sad, because I hear some people and they got every right to talk about these G Floyds, because they're the very reason why these G Floyds exist. I'm not saying that, but to go around telling people, well, you just don't mess with that, just go over there. No, don't go anywhere. Fucking fix yourself. For real, fix your fucking self first. For real, don't go anywhere. Leave that alone and then fix yourself. Heal. It's going to take you some time to heal. And some people, it take longer than others to heal. I'm telling you. Fix yourself. Like I said, if you are lonely when you're alone, then you're in bad company. Like I said before, and I'm going to repeat it again. If you're lonely when you are alone, then you're in bad company. Fix your fucking self. Fix yourself. Don't go running somewhere else. Don't do that. You got to leave this bad relationship and fix yourself. Don't worry about what the next person has, what the next woman got. Don't worry about that. Fix yourself, for real. If she's attached to a white man, then good for her. I don't think that she probably should. I don't know. If I'm sitting here telling you that, you need to leave Blackistan, I'm not going to let you know that I'm living in a castle somewhere while I'm saying to you that you need to get out of Blackistan, right? I'm not going to do that. And I think you should be wary of people who do that. People who brag and stuff about, you should be very wary. You should be wary. I don't know, but when that ego comes out, I get so turned off. I really don't want to hear anything that person has to say again. I just don't want it resonating through my frontal lobes. I just don't. I'm not going to tell you I'm sitting up here in the castle with all of these diamonds and pearls, resting in my femininity, and how much you need to get out of Blackistan and do the same. Look, it don't work like that. Fix yourself. Please don't go running into another relationship. Please don't think that you need some man to be complete because that's what society told you. Please don't do that, because those rules were not for the mother of humanity. Those rules are not for the mother of humanity. For real. You get to pick and choose. For real. You get to pick and choose. And you don't need a man. I don't care what color he is. You don't need a man to be complete. You're already complete. You're a woman. You're a woman. You're already complete. You're a woman. Your chromosomes are whole. You're already complete. You don't need a man. The only thing I can see a man is he's an accessory. That would be something that I want as an accessory, not something that I need. I'm capable And so were the mothers, so were the ancestors. The mothers, they were capable. They were capable. They were capable. They were capable. The man is just the enforcer, like I said. And when you look at it in a micro level, as him being the enforcer in the household. You know, he's the enforcer in the household. You look at that on a micro level, then you look at the macro level. That was his role. That's always been his role since the beginning of his time. And yes, we were here first. We were here first. You know, desperation breeds contempt. It breeds contempt. And like the desperation, it like shows, it just, like, y'all seriously reek of desperation. Like, y'all seriously reek of desperation. And if you think that these G Floyds are being watched all over the world, which they are, the whole world see how these G Floyds get down. They also are watching you. They watched you march for them. They watch you talking about, oh, now we don't want them. We going to the white man. I'm not even attracted to white men. And like I said, that's American white men. Because European men don't call themselves white. They identify themselves as European, right? They don't call themselves white until they come over here to this country and check the white box. Okay? They come over here to America and they check the white box. But when they on their own land, and for the most part, they don't even come over here like that. But when they do, for business reasons, you know, and they for business and real estate purposes, they check the white box. They check the white box because they come here to New York and do it all the time. Then they go back to their country, right? They go back to their country. But they consider themselves European. They identify as European. Only in America do white people call themselves white, right? They only here they do that. Only here they do that, right? So I'm not even attracted to white men, and you know that's because of the history here. That's because of the history. I'm not even attracted to them like that. Not like that. I mean, not like that. European, different story. You know what I'm saying? Asian, different story. You know, but that's my, what it is, a preference. I'm not attracted to G Floyds from anywhere in the world, okay? From anywhere in the world. I'm not attracted to G Floyds, and I'm not attracted to white men, which would be men in America that identify as white, right? I'm not attracted to them. And you know, it's not just because of their history, but I've been following like their white supremacist websites and stuff like that for over a decade now. For over a decade, I've been following their websites. I be reading the shit that they be talking about, and you know what? They don't like G Floyds, and they don't like black women either. They don't. You know I was laughing because one of them, I remember reading one on one of the sites. They called that dance, the twerking dance. They called it their mating call. I remember when they had a video going around 10 years ago on social media. They had a video going around talking about how they were showing their little white daughters how to shoot in the forest and, you know, handle guns and stuff like that, while the little black girls were just learning how to twerk. And they called it their mating call. I'm like, wow. And they would always have, and they still do, they have all of these articles where, you know, either a G Floyd doing something or a black woman doing something, like homiciding her kids, you know, and stuff like that, you know. Oh, boy, I tell you. you know. So yeah, I'm not really attracted to them like that. I'm not really attracted to them like that. Now, it's a different story. A European lived in Europe all their life and have it and is not with this American culture, right? That's a different story, you know. But as far as these people here, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, you know. And especially when reparations haven't been paid, especially then, because reparations is not a handout, it's a debt owed, and everybody else got their reparations except for the American descendant of slavery, right? But Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore is working on that. And like I told my friend, look, you know, it's only going to be 5 black families left by the time they pay out them reparations. Only 5, because y'all are like literally being homicided and replaced, okay? And replaced by black immigrants, because they come over here and check that black box. I'm telling you. But yeah, desperation is a sign. Desperation breeds contempt, right? That's why that lady who was a banker, that's why he bashed her face in like that, you know. Like I've seen enough Law and Order Special Victim Unit, like I've been watching that ever since it first 20 years ago. I've been watching it that long. That's one of my favorite shows, Law and Order, okay? And before that, it was Law and Order Criminal Intent. I watched both of them, you know what I'm saying? And I still watch Law and Order Special Victims Unit to this day, right? So what I was saying was I've watched enough of that to know. Boy, I tell you, I would have made a good, and what's that other show? Crime Scene Investigation. Oh my God, look. I kid around, but I would have made a damn good detective, I'm telling you. But see, if it wasn't for that black culture in Blackistan where I grew up, and it was looked down upon to be police, you know what I'm saying? It was really looked down upon. Like, I couldn't even think about doing something like that, living around, you know, in Blackistan. Like, for real. Like, it was a bad thing. And when I think about it today, I wish I wouldn't have fell for the okie doke, because I would have made top-notch detective. I would have been the shit, okay? For real. But, like I was saying, the lady got her face bashed in. The banker, he bashed her face in, right? And he was making a 6-figure salary too. But I'm pretty sure not as much as she was. And plus she was getting all this other money, you know, all these other grants she was supposed to be doing stuff for black girls. I don't know what happened with that, but I ain't gonna get into it. But he bashed her face in, and I've seen enough crime scene investigation and Law and Order to know that that was personal. That was a personal crime. That was intimate, rather. It was very intimate. Like, you know, it was intimate. He hated the sight of her so much that he didn't even want her to be recognizable at her funeral and wake, okay? She couldn't have an open casket. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I said, desperation breeds contempt, you know? And it doesn't matter what race the man is. If he see that you're desperate, and it looks like, you know, the whole world, they're not just watching the G Floyds. It's like I said, they're looking at the black women too, right? They're looking at the counterparts of the G Floyd, right? And desperation breeds contempt. And it doesn't matter what race this man is. I don't care what race he is. Every man knows this. Every man knows this. Desperation breeds contempt. It breeds contempt. And men is you know, they don't think like us, you know. If they know you're desperate, they're not going to like you. They're really not going to like you. And you're just so desperate, like, I don't know. It seems to me like okay, you don't want to mess with the G Floyd, but you just still so desperate for a man, any man, because, you know, society is telling you that you need a man. So you telling other women, go get you a white man, you know, and that's not cool. That's not cool. And it's not cool because, you know, the person is leaving an abusive relationship. They can't leave an abusive relationship and go into another relationship right away. So like that advice is not sound at all. Even if you wasn't telling them to get with a white man, you know, even if you were like, you know, don't go with this G Floyd that was American. Go with this G Floyd that's, you know, Nigerian. You still telling them to get with another man, and a man will have contempt for you if he knows that you're desperate. Like, he will have freaking contempt for you. I'm telling you. It don't matter what color he is. He will have contempt for you. He know that, like, boy, I tell you. Well, you know something? The whole world is watching, and that's what they see. They see G Floyd's over here making every race of women single mamas, and then they see the black woman over here crying about the G Floyds and lamenting about the G Floyds, and then telling each other, yeah, go over here with this dude. You know, he'll do right by you. No, he's not going to do right by you if he knows that you're desperate. He's going to have contempt for you. He's going to have contempt for you. He's not going to do right by you. He's going to just have contempt for you. You know, desperation breeds contempt. One of my friends mailed me, well, he texted me a video showing this woman getting on her knees proposing to this dude, and I believe it looked like it was at his job. I don't know, but it was in a public place, and I'm thinking that it was at his job. And he texted me this video, and he asked me straight up. He was like, I want to know straight up what you think about this, you know. And I was like, oh my God, I was just so embarrassed with the girl. I watched the video, and then I texted him back, and I was like, look, I said I would never do no shit like that, okay? I don't know if he was trying to give me a hit or not, but I was like, first of all, I would never do no shit like that, not unless it was a business arrangement, you know what I'm saying? And I would have had to have a signed agreement, you know, written up by an attorney and everything, a signed agreement of what I'm getting out of this arrangement, right? And second of all, I didn't tell him that, but you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even marry no dude unless he had life insurance, 401k, and IRA. Because, you know, naturally women live longer than men, right? So I'ma still need to be taken care of after he's gone. You understand what I'm saying? But again, desperation breeds contempt. So he asked me how I felt about that, and I told him first I wasn't never gonna do no shit like that unless it had to be like some type of business. It damn sure wasn't gonna be about no love. And you know, traditionally, that's what marriages were about. It was really a business arrangement, right? So, you know, the wife is the whore of the husband, okay? That's another story. And I'm going to get into that later in my teachings, right? On the sacred whore. But traditionally, marriages are business arrangements, right? They were business arrangement. The only people who do that now are people with money, families who have money. They're the only ones who do that now. The rest of the people that are not, you know, on that level of wealth, you know, I don't know what they marry out of desperation because somebody told them they needed a man, you know, and stuff like that, right? And it's rarely ever because they actually love each other, right? It's usually out of desperation, right? But anyway, that was the first thing I told him, that I would never do that unless it was like, it had to be about some business. And then secondly, I was like, you know, I don't think that, I told him, I was like, I think that when a man is ready to marry you, when he's ready to make that commitment, if it's not about business, and it's still, even if a man is ready to make that commitment, it's still like business to him. You understand what I'm saying? He's gonna have somebody that he could procreate with and take care of his children. You understand? While you barely ever see him because he's out working 2 and 3 jobs to take care of you and them children and come home as an enforcer when them children are acting up, right? You get what I'm saying? So it's still like a business arrangement. He gets to carry on his legacy, right? Through you and through the birth that you give to his children, he gets to carry on his legacy. So that is like a business arrangement for him. But anyway, I told my friend, I said, I don't think that a man would I think that a man would ask a woman to marry her only if he's ready to make that commitment. Like, if a man is not ready to make that commitment, don't ask him to marry you. He's not ready, or he would have asked you, or he would have chosen you to ask. Maybe he got somebody else in mind. I don't know. But men are like that. Men are like that. You understand what I'm saying? And I told him, I was like, I don't think that I said, he's gonna probably go. For the rest of her life, he's going to treat her like she was an option and not a priority, right? Because if she was a priority, he would have asked her. If he was ready to make that commitment, he would have asked her. But he's always going to see her as an option now because she went and asked him. That she was just an option. She wasn't a priority. She couldn't have been a priority because she had to get on her knees and ask him, like, to marry her, and yeah, that's what I told him. And I was like, and I asked him, I said, well, shit, am I wrong? And he was like, nope. He was like, you're right. When a man is ready, he'll, to make that commitment, he'll ask. And I was like, whoosh, I was like, I'm glad he wasn't trying to get me no hit, because if that's the case, it definitely got to be about business. You know what I'm saying? For real. It got to be about it. This chick in the video, she bought the ring and everything. She got down on her knees, and it looked like it was his place of employment. And she went there, got on her knees, and put the ring on his finger. I'm like, oh no, like, you would never catch me doing no shit like that. Sorry, not sorry, but I'm not desperate. I'm not desperate, okay? I'm a matriarch. You understand what I'm saying? I'm a matriarch. I'm not desperate. A matriarch is never desperate. And I don't have to be attached to a man to be resting in my femininity. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what the hell, boy, I tell you. I don't have to be attached to a man to be resting in my femininity. You understand what I'm saying? I told you in the last video, I was explaining to y'all about my son's father and his dad and how we didn't even live in the same apartment. That's why we lasted so long. I had my own space. Like, I'm a matriarch. I can't. I just can't. Yeah, I can't. Okay? I'm not even going to make no excuse for it. I just can't. I'm a matriarch. We didn't even live together. The whole time we was with each other, dating each other, the whole time I was pregnant, after the boys were born. Until I had moved to Georgia. And my youngest were born there. And even still, we didn't live together right away. He did move to Georgia too, but we still had separate spots until my baby was maybe like a year. That's when we moved in with each other, and it didn't last long after that. It only lasted, I don't even think it lasted a whole year. I don't even think everything, like, nope, I can't do it. I just can't do it, right? And I'm not making no excuses for that. And I'm not apologizing for it either, because I'm not even... society puts that pressure on you. Like you have to have a man to be anything. Like you have, listen, women live longer than men anyway. You know what I'm saying? They live longer than men, especially if you take care of yourself. And these men out here, they not taking care of themselves like that. You understand what I'm saying? They not taking care of themselves like that. You know, they be like 30 years old with prostate cancer and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They not even taking care of themselves. You know, and look, I don't apologize for it, but yeah, she was desperate. And like I said, desperation breeds contempt. And eventually, after living with this lady for a while, after they get married, he's going to have contempt for her because she was desperate enough to ask him to marry her. And I don't know, who knows? 5 years from now, we might find she has her face bashed in too. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these people are not going to make it, and those people that are not going to make it, a lot of them from those people who are not going to make it are going to be sacrificed. They are going to be the sacrifice. And I could see you talking about G Floyds and stuff like that, but please don't advise anybody to jump into another relationship. Like, they need time to heal from the abuse, years of abuse. It took years for them to learn how to accommodate that abuse, right? So it's going to take years for them. It's going to take years for them to unlearn it. It really is. It's not going to happen overnight, right? And like I said before, not everybody is meant to be paired up with somebody. There is more women on this planet than there is men. There is more women on this planet than there is men. Period. Period. So, and that's all women together on this planet. If you separate the women by race or group or race or whatever, because race isn't even a word that was made up to put a spell on all of humanity, right? All of humanity. That's what it was. But if you separate all the women by groups, right, by culture, even still, you're going to find more women than men in that particular group or that particular culture. It's just the way it's always been. There's always been, well, except for that time somewhere in Europe when they burnt all the women and accused them of being witches, and they burnt them all and ended up screwing the sheep. But that's another story. They had to integrate with another so-called ethnic European group, right, to survive. But anyway, if you look at it, it's still more women than men. Everybody is not meant to be paired up. You don't have to be attached to a man in order to be somebody. You need to get your shit together and fix yourself. Like, for real, for real. That's what you need to do. You don't need to be jumping into no other relationship. Like, you need to fix yourself. You need to fix yourself. But that's all I wanted to say. I'm not even going to get into everything else. That's all I wanted to say. I wanted to, again, if you know anybody, if you're 18 or 24 and you're willing to do online web classes and you live 60 miles within New York City, please email me at shenpe9@gmail.com. Those classes start this week coming, and I'll be more than happy to give you the information. Also, if you're a mother, it doesn't matter what age you are. You just have to be a mother, okay? And you can get free computer class training. I'm not sure what the training entails, but it's free, okay? And it's on Zoom, and it's for 2 hours, either on Saturdays or Thursdays, okay? So email me, shenpe9 at gmail.com, and I can email you an application for that one. And you just have to be a mother. And classes are starting. Well, I'm not sure when classes are starting, but I know the seating is limited. So please please email me, and I'll be more than happy to give you this application for this information. Okay, so until then, I have my homework to do. I'm working really hard on my Korean, as you know, because I'm going to Korea this summer. Yay! And yeah, and on my ordination for my minister license, for my minister ordination, my master's in metaphysics or metaphysical sciences. And once I'm a minister, I'll be able to marry people. I'll be able to do all of that. I'll be a legit minister. So I'll be able to minister and marry people if you're interested. But just know that that's not really important. Like, you need to just fix yourself. Just please, just fix yourself. You don't have a relationship with yourself first. Like, love yourself. Okay, take care of yourself. Don't worry about what the other woman got or what she's bragging about, because the ego, that's just ego. It like really is. And you have to be around a bunch of people. Like, when you're doing stuff like that, like, you're just doing that. That person is just doing that so they could just feel good. They have to do that in order to feel good about themselves, right? But I'm telling you to get your shit together. Love yourself. Don't worry about what the next person is doing or what the next person have or may not have, right? The only person that you have to be better than is the person that you was yesterday. That's it. Nothing else. That's the only person you have to be better than. Just be better than the person that you were yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be good. Just work on that. Work on yourself. Love yourself. Pick your self-esteem up from off the ground. Pick up your self-respect from off the ground. Pick up your integrity from off the ground. Stop showing that aura of desperation, because it breeds contempt. And no man will like you. No man will like you. No man will like you. He will have contempt for you. Okay? So until the next time, everyone. Until next time. Love yourselves and stay safe and stay aware, especially out here, because the energy is crazy and there's going to be a lot of sacrifice. Don't be the one who is sacrificed. That's all I'm trying to say. Don't be that one. Just stay aware of your surroundings. Keep your circle small. Keep it very small. And definitely be aware of your surroundings when you're walking in the streets where you live, when you're stopping for gas where you live, when you're going down the highway. Just be aware. Be aware. And like I said, I invested in a body cam like 3 years ago. I invested in a body cam because, like I said, if it comes to the point where, I just have to slit somebody's throat and wash my feet in their blood, when it's all over with, I at least want to have something saying that it was self-defense. You understand what I'm saying? Because I know even as a so-called black woman, as an American descendant of slavery, I'm not going to get a $5,000 bill. You know what I'm saying? I might be lucky to get freaking manslaughter and 2 years for that. You understand what I'm saying? But ain't nobody giving me no damn $5,000 bail for homicide and a self-defense and a G Floyd or anything like that. Whether he coming at me with a car, or whether he coming at me with a bag of shit. You know what I'm saying? It don't even matter. Ain't nobody giving me no $5,000 bail to let me out of jail. They're going to make me pay for that. But at least if I'm going to have to pay for that, I'm going to get a body camera. And what I'm telling you, I'm suggesting that y'all invest in that one. Y'all invest in a body cam too. It's not just enough to have a weapon or a gun or anything. Like, it's not enough. It's not enough. I'm telling you, it's not enough. Have a body camera on you. Have a body camera. You know, you can get them. They're really small, you know, but invest in that. They don't cost that much money. Just invest in a body cam, okay? And until then, just stay safe. Stay safe. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Later.